sculptures, photographs, software, radio and television broadcasts. Copyright does not protect facts, ideas, systems, or methods of operation, although it may protect the way these things are expressed. Under the Berne Convention of 1886, copyrights for creative works do not have to be asserted or declared, as they are automatically in force at creation. There is no requirement for an author to register or apply for a copyright, or to mark his works with a copyright symbol. As soon as a work is fixed, that is, written or recorded on some physical medium, its author is automatically entitled to all copyrights in the work and to any derivative works unless and until the author explicitly disclaims them or until the copyright expires. Authors and publishers have relied for years on cheap, mass-produced physical carriers for the distribution of creative works. Protected from counterfeits and pirates by technology, enforcement of national copyright legislation, and a public educated to respect copyrights. This model has produced a magnificent golden age of creative works. But the Internet, the need for open standards, machine-to-machine interoperability, the digitization of creative works, and new digital technology enabling consumers to access and copy creative works for free is now disrupting the old business model. National copyright laws and judiciary systems are being taken to the extreme by plaintiffs and appear to be struggling in their efforts to deal with a new reality. Some artists and authors have lost faith that their creative works can be protected and are indicating that they will stop their creation unless the situation is redressed. Desperate measures to outlaw new technologies in the marketplace are introduced, and new Internet services and telecom providers are being asked to enforce copyrights. Copyright-protected content is copied by search technology computers without explicit consent of authors and/or publishers in order to facilitate consumer access. DRM systems have been deployed, digital right management systems have been deployed to try to stop the indiscriminate spread of copies and have proven to be ineffective as they have been rejected by consumers as not user-friendly, sometimes even crippling creative works and/or hard drives, and in most cases ineffective in protecting creative works from pirates and hackers. What can and should be done? How can we encourage the development of new business models that are privacy-proof? Should we adapt Europe's still fragmented copyright legislation to the digital age? Can we reduce copyright enforcement costs by eliminating the need to clear copyright in the 27 different member states? Should copyrights be counterbalanced by copy duties, as some have suggested? What if we provide public protection for creative works under an obligation that creators should allow their works to be indexed, for example? No index, no copyright. I guess these are the questions that we are going to address today and that we're trying to get some answers on. Having said that, I'd like to kick off the discussion. I guess all of you are going to speak in English because we don't have any translation. Again, I guess to start off the discussion, I want to give the word to our distinguished professor and ask him what his ideas are about what should be done.
Thank you for your introduction. Thanks for inviting me to this conference. I have lots of ideas, but only 5 minutes. So I will share only 1 or 2 with you in this stage, maybe more later on. I would like to talk a bit about European copyright policy, since that's what you're all interested in, and certainly our hosts are. As most of you probably are aware, the European community has undertaken a very ambitious program of harmonization of copyright and related rights since the late 80s, which has resulted in 7 directives harmonizing distinct areas of copyright and neighboring rights, ranging from computer programs to databases, satellite and cable, to the more recent Information Society Directive of 2001, which touched upon various Internet-related issues. The primary aim of that program of harmonization was obviously to remove the disparities, the existing differences between the laws of the member states. And such differences indeed existed and have been smoothed out to a certain degree. So, in that sense, this harmonization program has been at least mildly successful. But what this program has largely, almost completely ignored, in my opinion, is the single most important obstacle to the creation of a true internal market in content-based goods and services, which is territoriality, the territorial nature of copyright, the fact that copyright ends at national borders. And that is a serious problem. It has always been a problem, but it is becoming an increasingly serious problem in the context of the Internet, in a world where geography increasingly dissolves. So, despite this extensive harmonization program, copyright in the member states is still largely linked to the geographical boundaries of sovereign states. The consequence is that copyright markets in the EU remain vulnerable to what we call compartmentalization, fragmentation along national borders. Even in this digital age, even in 2009, content providers aiming at European consumers need to clear rights, our chairman already mentioned it briefly, need to clear rights covering 27 independent member states, even each having their own system of copyright, even each protecting rights around their own borderlines. And this concerns not only content providers, but it concerns users of copyright works as well. These users need to navigate around 27 sets of different limitations and exceptions that are hugely disparate from each other on top of that. This is one of many problems, in fact, facing the European Commission in its intended initiative in the field of orphan works. How do we deal with orphan works? Well, we could have a whole session on that, but one of the problems is that if you deal with them, you want to deal with them obviously at a European level. Otherwise, the whole idea of making these digital archives available to the already
5 minutes is very short.
That is short. I didn't even make my point. I will make my point. The point is, and I think you hear it coming, that it is time to seriously consider getting rid of this territoriality, and the way to do that, and this is a point very much inspired by industrial property rights discussions that we had in previous sessions, we should start thinking about a truly European copyright law, a community copyright